what's sort of maybe another mistake or something that people overlook when trying to build their dream home or just build an optimized space?
Well, I always say that you have to have a focal point. Focal point is where your eyes gonna go when you enter a space. Doesn't matter if it is a house, anywhere. You want something that will attract you. And what is great about the focal point is that if you have a strong enough focal point, you're gonna look at that and you're not gonna actually see what happens around. So you can really have a messy room, but if you have a fantastic picture, everything else is going to disappear. So it's a very good tool to cover the mistake that you might have in a room. So you actually have this fantastic that you walk into a room and say, oh, that's really good. And you don't see anything else that happens around. Right. So the first rule is to have a focal point.
Yes.
Works very well also in a garden. One of the things that I always say, your interiors, I know it's called interior design, but in actual fact is a lifestyle choice. And that means that your home starts from your front gate. And a great way is to have a garden that is very well done, very well kept, because you give the impression that you are perfect also inside the house. So, and one of the tips is to have a focal point in the garden. So when you walk in, and focal point in the garden is just a nice shrub, flower, something that will attract you. And it is one of the tips, when you don't have the main entrance clearly visible, you want to take people around in a sort of like guided way. So you need a lot of little focal point in a way that they're gonna find your front door, because the worst thing that can happen is when you walk into a garden and you don't know how to get into the house. So you do a lot of little focal point. You get to the main door, that is gonna be then the focal point of the house. And when you open the door, you need to have another focal point. And your discovery of the house is a continuous discovery of focal points, little focal points. That
I like that. I never thought about that before. Right.
Yeah. So that makes your house interesting, because every time you move, you see something interesting. And focal point can be a painting, but it can also be a group of plants.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, what is an example that you've seen where someone has really done a good job of creating focal points? And we'll start with that externally. So yeah, out in the garden or out when people start to come through, what's an example that someone could actually do, or what have you seen?
Well, for example, you have your entrance, the gate, and you've got nice shrubs, and then you've got, in a little corner, you've got a bench.
Sure.
So you automatically go towards the bench, and the bench is a little bit interesting. Then you can have water feature. Something that you say, look what is there. So when you reach one focal point, you automatically go to the next one.
Yeah, right.
So there are all little things that you can really implement, and everything is quite clearly available. And if you don't have paintings in the house, obviously a painting is a great focal point. But plants, they do the job.
They do.
They do. Another very interesting thing is when you have a focal point that is quite high, so it's perfect. So one of those architectural plants that they've got a very thin trunk, and they've got the bush on top. So your eye will go up. So you've got a mess at the bottom, doesn't matter, because you're looking at that fantastic foliage.
Yeah, right.
So you need to be a bit creative.